Move it that way because you can't really see it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. We've got some connection difficulties. Let me first of all explain this is the first ever Google Hangout, so we are learning as we go. The aim of today is to really have conversations with areas that are already working towards trying to secure cleaner streets, and really to try and find out what bugs you about your area, what can we actually do to help you, what do we need to do to support you to help yourselves and help those in your area, and how can we work together to really show we love where we live. I'm hoping we will be joined also by colleagues from Billesley and colleagues at the city centre. We are coming today from Longbridge, absolutely fantastic venue. If anyone remembers Longbridge as a car factory, it is totally regenerated now. And I think if you could take it in turns, starting with Sharon's crew, if you could just introduce yourselves and then we can move on. Penny, Mary, to yours. Sharon.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Okay. If everybody just introduces themselves.
Hi, I'm Adela Pritchard. I'm a beauty minister in the area and get very involved with Winston Green in Bloom, which we see as our way of trying to tackle rubbish in the local streets.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Krepsky. I'm a member of the Neighbourhood Watch, Northstone Neighbourhood Watch in Soho, but also run the Big Top Neighbourhood Watch for a wider picture in Birmingham.
Hi, I'm Rakesh Sami. I'm the Holyhead Neighbourhood Watch and also Soho Lead.
Councillor Chamanlal.
Okay.
I'm Mohanlal Gaddu, chairperson of the Matthew Board Forum.
And I'm Sharon Thompson. You can't see me. I'm Sharon Thompson, Soho councillor.
Hiya, Sharon. Okay. Okay. Hi. That's great. Can we say hello to Scotland Green?
Hello.
Mary.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Morning, Lee from Neighbourhood Watch.
Morning.
Morning. My name is Tom Mann. I'm Neighbourhood Watch with my wife and also an alligating program.
Okay.
Bring the chair down, I won't be able to. No, you can. I'm alright, I'm
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This is proving yeah. Hi, are you still there? Okay. Listen, guys, we are struggling. We're struggling with the audio and to connect, and we haven't connected through into the main room. We may, and I'm really sorry about this, we may have to abandon it if we don't.
Should be okay, yeah. We should be,
okay.
If we carry on and
can we, the big thing we need to get, and if we can't get it by actually talking to each other, if you can make a note of what we're really hoping you'll pick up today. We're hoping you're going to be at the forefront of developing the cleaner street plans. What we need to know is what are the big issues in your area, what's working well, what doesn't work, what requires improvement, and what you want from us. So if you can have a conversation round amongst yourselves around the table to really draw out those sort of issues, we can then hopefully pull that back from you. I've got Soho on at the moment. What would you say is the burning issue for you in Soho?
What's the burning issue in Soho?
Lisa, it's the increase in fly tipping and dumping.
Right.
Anybody else want to?
Okay, fly
Soho Road.
And
always covered up.
So part of the Soho Road, because we're stuck between two districts on the Soho Road, so they see that as being a problem also with the traders.
Okay. Okay. Okay, if not, sorry, if not, just start them doing the workshop anyway.
We'll do that. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll do that
okay. Mary, Penny, what do you reckon are the big issues in Stockland Green?
Tom, Maureen, what do you think are the big issues?
Well, the same as what the Soho have said, obviously fly tipping, dog fouling.
Like,
alleyways are a big issue. Victorian terraces and alleyways where lots of fly tipping takes place. And trade waste, I would reckon, Russell, wouldn't you?
Okay, and when you talk about the Victorian terraces, would that be sort of private rented property?
Often they're private rented, sometimes they're owned, but we've got a big incident of what we think is private landlords clearing their houses out and dumping either that or we're growing more settees than anywhere else in the world.
Okay. It was interesting, we had a case today on Alton Boulevard East where there was a level of rubbish 1 story high, and that was a private rented property. Okay, what would you want from us in terms of trying to improve things in the Stockland Green area?
To prevent landlords from doing all this fly tipping, that'd be a bonus, and to make it accessible, because some of them have slapped private locks on the gates, which we have no access to. So, you know, locks would have to be cut off. How do we stand on that issue? We're having to remove a lock if it, you know, if it doesn't belong to the gating program.
From our point of view, some big enforcement would help. If we can catch 1 or 2 people, and the environmental health team are doing a good job, some big enforcement would send a message, and something about dog poo is really important.
Okay. It's an interesting one because there is definitely a relationship between private renting and dog poo, because people let dogs out of their flats. We will take back, and I will take back, I've got enforcement officers in the next room, we'll take back definitely this issue about, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. We'll take back the issue of the gated properties, because that is actually enforceable now, and it's very easily enforceable. Soho, what would you be looking for? Sharon?
I think ours is quite similar to what's going on in Stockland Green. There's a big thing with the private landlords, especially when they've got a high turnaround with their properties. So you'll find beds dumped on the streets and things like that. Because we neighbour with Sandwell, we're finding that it seems like people are coming into the area to actually dump late at night. So there's an issue around that. How do we capture the licence plate numbers, and actually saying to residents, you know, we won't tell people that you're the person that's told us who's done the fly tipping. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks.
Can I also what we found works quite well in my patch, and I know the whole of the Soho's got a major difficulty in this, is resources where street bins are concerned. We found, because we campaigned quite a lot to get street bins in, the residents are now starting to use the street bins to keep the area. Right. So a good resource from Birmingham City Council is to make available to organisations, so organisations can actually take ownership of street bins, getting street bins to us.
Right. Okay, I mean, what we can look at there, it seems there is definitely a pattern between Stockland Green and Soho of where you've got flats above shops.
Yeah.
And people don't necessarily have waste disposal above for the flats, and so it gets dumped onto the streets and the street bins. Is that what you're saying?
That's also definitely an issue, particularly on our main roads, Woodley Road and also Soho Road.
Now, what happens, Lisa, is when the tenants from living on top of commercial properties, they put the rubbish out in the street. And some of the traders put their rubbish along it, trade waste, among the domestic.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Can we jump in, Lisa, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
We've got an issue with the flats as well, but ours is more than just flats. It's about properties
all over Scotland Green with the dumping. But Tom wanted to jump in and say something.
It's what I wanted to. What I wanted to ask is the skips, where skips have been loaded and left for weeks. It's another issue around it. Not exactly what we're talking about, but it's skips, and then they're being left outside properties, fully loaded. And, is there anything that can be done to get them moved? If you like, as soon as they're full, how do we go about things like that?
Did you get that? Skips that are full.
The whole room has stopped to watch.
Okay, I think the it's all right. I've got Tony Kennedy appearing like the helpful little Solly is saying everyone stopped in the other room. I think I will find that there's clearly an issue about skips and how long they can be on the street, and there's an issue about the different licenses that you get. And Jackie Kennedy is in there, and we'll put the skip issue up. If certainly what we could do with is we'll take these back through into there, and we will ensure that that comes forward. Can I just check, are we now playing through into the next room? Okay, so Soho, Stockland Green, just for your benefit, you are playing through into the main room where we've got people from Moseley, we've got people from Ladywood, we've got people from Sheldon, we've got people from Acox Green. So it's a mix of people, and what will happen, I will after this go into the room with those people and in person sort of try and get through their issues. Soho, is there anything else that you would wish to be raising?
Lisa, I think, like Penny said, we need to control
Soho?
we need to bring in licensing scheme for private landlords.
Surrounded licensing for private landlords.
Okay.
We might have a plan for that.
Sorry?
We might have a plan for that.
But how, I mean, using the plans,
What's the recycle bins?
Oh, sorry, Lisa, we've got one more.
Yeah, just sometimes the recycle bins are also, as good as they are, they're a magnet for fly tipping around the recycle bins themselves. That's a really big issue that we find around Soho area, that they really do litter the place and make it really unattractive as well. That's another point.
Right. So are you on about big recycle bins or just
small? Yeah, so when they're clustered together, all the recycle bins, there might be 3 or 4. I don't know whether the recycle bins are actually full, but people do dump outside them.
Right.
And we also have an issue where there's clothes bins in the area, whether it's by, on a high street or by on private land, they become a and we sometimes have
We've had some talk.
Yeah.
We've had talk with big belly bins where you can actually, they're sort of more compactor bins with a lid on. Do you think those could benefit some of the busier streets in your area?
Lisa, what I'm saying is, we got the bottle banks or cold banks. They are attracting the value for fly tipping.
So it's the clothes banks and the bottle banks.
Yeah, it's one of those.
They're attracting rubbish, dumping.
Right.
But we have problems trying to get the owners to take responsibility.
Yeah. Right. So there's a real issue here about trying to use regulation, be it licensing, be it our enforcement powers, for people to take responsibility whilst promoting sort of the cleaner programme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't forget that also.
So Lisa, what we're saying is, where the bottle banks or cold banks, if it's private
bottle,
or wherever they are, the owner of the land needs to take responsibility to make them keep the area clean.
I think this is an interesting one. I'd like to I'll take a vote in there, and maybe if Scotland Green. I think clothes banks are becoming a major problem because they get put onto sort of small car parks and stuff, and then we have clothing left beside them, then we have bottles left beside them. Do you have a problem with those in your area?
We do, but to be fair, they're a lot better managed than they used to be, and we've taken some out and put some underground ones in, historically in the days when we used to have capital investment, and we found that makes a much bigger difference to have the underground ones.
But we can't do that with clothes bags though, that's the problem. It's clothes bags. We can have bottle bags on the ground, but we can't put the clothes bags on the ground.
I think what basically, Lisa, what we're saying is, it's not just them leaving the bottles on the road, it actually attracts bin bags, rubbish, all kinds of and sometimes these clothes banks are actually on private land. So we have an issue when we're trying to contact the private owner of the land where they just won't listen to us or they won't do nothing about it. And it's about, is there a piece of legislation or is there something called licensing that we can do to force them to tidy it up or actually get rid of the clothes bank?
Okay. Well, we've got Matt Kelly in the other room, and I know that Matt would see every single clothes bank in the city off the streets if he could. Okay. Is there anything that you feel? What do you think works well in your area, Stockland Green?
I'm just going to bring Russell in if that's all right. He's our environmental health officer, one of them. We'll see if he's got anything to say.
In Stockland Green, we've been doing lots of flag searches and stuff to identify businesses where they've been putting their waste out, and that seems to be working out.
I can't catch.
Yeah, in Stockland Green, we've been doing quite a lot of bag searches recently to go through to identify where commercial waste is coming from on the highway, which has been working really well. We've got a number of cases going through.
Okay. Tom, Maureen, anything you think works well?
Yes, I think the irrigating scheme works well. We still have dumping in some alleyways, but this week my husband has been trying to find people who are responsible for the dumping in the alleyways to ask them to open the gates and to remove it.
So I think we would say the community activists, so these guys who do all the work, who actually are the residents, and they add a real value to it. And we have a tasking meeting, an environmental tasking group, which involves environmental health and the residents, and we can all bring issues to the table and somebody gets tasked to go and resolve it. That we find that tracking the response to something is really important.
Right, okay, that seems really, that's a really good one, because it's certainly work in other wards where in mostly my ward, we did it with problem drinking. We had a task group and that really set people off. Soho, do you have any sort of work going on with the housing associations in your area?
Not so, at the moment. We're having conversations with the housing associations, and we're looking at setting up an environmental group that's sort of similar to what it sounds like we're doing in Stockland Green. With that group, it wouldn't just be the residents, the councillors, and obviously the VCC staff, but also we will include the housing associations, because that's where part of the problem is. They need to take responsibility for some of their tenants and the stuff that's going on around there.
Lisa, when we were the neighbourhood management pilot, we had all those partners on board, and it worked very well for Soho. Then we had the neighbourhood talking groups. They are also very effective. But we need to somehow bring back
I have to tell the truth as well, Lisa. We stole the task force idea from Sharon. I have to tell the truth and hold my hands up.
Penny! I will tell you not in the future.
Good. We don't mind. We're happy with that. We like to be helpful.
I think one of the things that we need to ensure is with each Stockland Green Soho, you sound like you have similar issues with private renting and licensing. What we need to do is ensure that if you've got Tuscan groups, we have the right officers working alongside you, because in another area it could be that it's more a housing officer that needs to be there. That seems to be what I'm hearing, because some of the things you're saying are very different to, say, when I had a discussion with Alex about some of the problems in Billesley. So, you know, shaping it to local needs. I don't know how you're finding this, but I'm probably finding this one of the more traumatic experiences of the week. Is there any other burning issue you would want to? I'll tell you, Penny, I'm seeing you in like sort of 3D. Is there any other burning issues anyone would want to bring forward? Scotland Green, what would be your big message back to officers in there? What would you want from them? Number one ask.
Number one as a licensing program for each property where a landlord is taken over the property. We would like a license which has to be all the rubbish that
I'm coming into this
and do all the property.
And
before
Lisa, we also would like to have a licensing scheme for private landlords, as well as regulating of the closed banks.
And I think also, Lisa, we just need a good lines of communication with the fly tipping and other departments, so that when people are prosecuted, if they let us know, we can put letters out on the street saying somebody on the street has been fined, don't let this happen to you.
I mean, again, I think that is really powerful, you know, where you can actually start to sort of publicise it. The other thing we've got to look at is, I don't know if people in your area have tried to use our report it. We've got to have a better way of taking photographs and just reporting through. Can I
That's engagement. We really need to concentrate on, I suppose it's off. We really need to concentrate, especially in Soho, but we need to engage with residents more, right? And we need to get ownership of their streets. We need to.
Engaging with residents. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Take care. I'll catch up with you all later on in the week.
Okay then, brilliant. Thanks a lot. Bye.